Hey guys, my name's Rob. I'm one of the designers on Legends Reborn. Here to go with you through another one of the decks we'll have available for Alpha. Today we're going to be going through the Shields Up deck. This deck is built around having a bunch of passives that all trigger on low health friendlies that just stack up a bunch of survivability once you get down past about 50%-ish. Start off with the hero for this deck, which is the Cleric. Kind of a jack of all trades, but selected in this case specifically for its access to shields, its access to really wide cleanses, which prevents people from locking you out of your passives, immunity, which does the same, prevents people from locking you out of your passives, as well as a couple attack spikes, which are very important in this case because a lot of your deck is going to be defensively focused, so you kind of need to use tricks to increase your damage or decrease their defense to do big hits. First creature for this deck is going to be the Flaywing Harasser, whose passive grants Void Armor and a Resistance boost to any creature below 65% hit points. Also kind of a sleeper as far as magic damage goes. A lot of the magic damage cards in this deck are best routed through the Flaywing Harasser because 89 magic damage is pretty big. Specifically, on top of its ability to create Void Armor, we've got a cheap Void Armor card, a relatively cheap Radiant Armor card that also comes with a magic attack, defense boost, as well as a area resistance boost, and then last but not least, a magic counterattack just to dissuade people from hitting your Flaywing Harasser because health is mildly an issue. The opposite of health being mildly an issue is your primary tank for this deck, which is the Stone Shear Golem. His passive grants at the start of any turn, you grant resistance and defense boost to any creature below 45% HP. And then we've got another area defense boost, and then an attack spike, which once again, since you're going to be focused so heavily on defense, just being able to dump a bunch of attack spikes into your primary attacker helps you get numbers more comparable to a big, attack-based deck. We've got a couple sources of bravery here. This one with an attack attached to it. This one just one turn of bravery for each creature you have on the board, so up to 5 turns of bravery just for 10 energy. And then a source of parasitic armor with an attack with parasitic armor, of course, just being a reactionary poison when someone hits you. Then we move on to the Furious Bugbear, which is probably this deck's primary attacker. Decent attack stat at 74, but its passive is actually kind of punishing to opponents trying to single out your creatures. Whenever an enemy drag attacks more than once a turn, you inflict bravery on that enemy, directing all attacks to it, as well as break defense for 2 turns. So if they're hiding behind a tank with bravery, and they use, let's say, a primary attacker, that primary attacker ends up with bravery as well, making it once again a valid target to be hit, as well as having break defense on it, which is a great deterrent for people in most of the bravery-focused strategies. We've got evasion, or access to evasion, which is just another really good damage mitigation tool, as well as a defense boost. A little bit of healing here, just because you're going to be swinging so often with the Bugbear that you want to be able to get some healing cards available in your hand, as well as an area immunity, just to make sure that all these passives stay on. Last but not least, a trigger magic attack, just so that since you're going to be swinging so often with the Bugbear, it's really nice to at least start drawing in magic attack cards that you can then feed back through to the Flaywing Harasser. All right. Next up, we've got the Glade Spriggan. Somewhat of a healer for this team. But for the most part, you're bringing her for the passive, which grants a shield at the start of any turn to any creature below 40% hit points, or any friendly creature below 40% hit points. Also got another source of shield, just so you can keep those rolling out. We have the Corporeal Smite, which is an area direct damage that'll just let you do big chunks of damage to big hit point pool tanks. Tome of Divinity, which is just bonus energy for you. Here's the aforementioned Heal, which is just an area regen. And then last but not least, really good for either the Glade Spriggan or the Flaywing Harasser. We've got Kraken Surge, which is a magic attack that actually breaks resistance to magic attacks. Last but not least, we've got Harpy Gale Shaman, which isn't based off hit points, but in a similar vein, when you have less cards in your hand than the opponent, you will grant Radiant Armor and an attack spike to the Gale Shaman herself, as well as the creatures directly adjacent. Also, just through her card pool, we've given her an auto revive, a really big magic attack that's great for the other magic attackers, another source of heal, another source of regen, and another source of cleanse, just to make sure that all your passives keep going off. All right, this has been the Shields Up deck. All right, thanks, guys.